How's it going, Abby?
Going well, a little nervous, but I think everything's coming together very nicely.
Yes, how are you feeling?
Like I can't breathe, but it's okay. I'm gonna be all right. I know the Lord's got this, and He has been in it ever since the beginning, so I'll be just fine. Hello, my name is Abigail Elliott. I'm a Year 1 Ascend student, and for my project, I'm coordinating a Masquerade ball on behalf of a local nonprofit in my town called Call to Freedom. They help people out of human trafficking and offer supportive services such as trauma management, safe housing, counseling, and they help others embrace this newfound freedom both physically and spiritually. I chose Call to Freedom as my project because I didn't realize that human trafficking was happening in my local hometown. And if I didn't know about that, who else was ignorant of this hidden crime? And I think why I chose Call to Freedom actually stems from the time I lived when I was in Haiti. I lived there when I was 7 through 12, and I was exposed to a lot of harsh realities of the world. For example, we had a girl living with us. Her name was Oberline, and she was 5 years older than me, yet looked like I did as a 7-year-old. She is what the Haitians called a restavik, which is a child slave. And there's a lot of that happens in Haiti. But I was seeing all this through the lens of a child and didn't really understand the gravity of the situations that were happening around me. So having come from that background, I want to do what I can now because I couldn't then. Planning this Masquerade ball has been one of the most exciting things I've ever done. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is the value of networking. I met one person who grafted me into his connections, and that's how I was able to get as far as I have. So for example, this guy, he was a chef, and he got 6 other chefs on board for this event. And so now I have 7 chefs in total who are donating all of the food, tons of these generous donations from the community. And it's just been really cool to see everyone unite for this common cause. One of the biggest things that kept me going was actually one of Scott Grant's sessions at Base Camp, Resiliency. He encouraged us to go farther than we thought we could, and he kind of coined the phrase, push the button. And what that means is to just keep trying and to see what happens, because God opens and closes doors, but you'll never know that until you try to turn the knob. And so as I walked into these meetings with various businesses, vendors, and venues, I was just thinking, why would anyone help me? What do I have to offer these people? It's not much. But through this process, I realized that my idea of big isn't very big at all. And so yeah, just learning to tap into what the Lord is telling me to do.
I know it is your first event, and as far as raising money for Call to Freedom, do you have any goal in mind that you hope to reach? It's probably hard to make that number if you've never done one before, but do you have any goal?
I would say maybe, and it's a big one, but I'd maybe say $40,000 would be a great, amazing goal. I'd love to do that for Call to Freedom and just bless them in that way.
This Masquerade charity ball is being hosted. It is currently, I think, somewhere around 5:30 p.m. I have not checked the time in a long time. But we have a lot of fun things in store for tonight, such as a band called the White Keys from Minneapolis. We have chefs, 7 of them actually, from my local community who are donating their time and their talents for this event, and both a live and silent auction. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. I'm just very excited to see it all come together. I've been planning it for 2 months, and actually see it come to fruition and actually become that reality is really exciting and fulfilling, and I could never have done this without my community, because it's no longer just my school project, my Ascend project, it's the whole community who got involved.
3, 2, 1. The silent auction is officially closed. The silent auction is officially closed. Thank you everybody for your donations and for your bids this evening on our silent auction. Yeah, you can give that a round of applause. That's worth it. Absolutely. I got 150 now going once. 150 twice. Sold it right there. Thank you very much, sir. Let's give a round of applause. You're wearing a gold hat and a gold suit. You deserve to go 400 and a gold cane. 400, let's do it. 400 right there. He's gonna go 5.5. I'm gonna go 5.5. 1,700. $2,000. Thank you, $2,000. We got sold. $2,000.
It was amazing. I was really struck by how many people were there. I was struck by the excitement of it, and I thought the entire event went off fantastic. It's unbelievable that she planned that in 2.5 months. I think they said the previous high fundraiser for this group was $10,000. They announced at the end that she'd raised $52,000, and so I thought the whole thing was spectacular. She spoke several times, and I thought she did it perfectly, and it was really a fun event, and it was really impressive.
In the end, we know that Christ wins, and every form of suffering will be no more. The scripture says, He will wipe away every tear from your eyes. There will be no more mourning, crying, pain, or sorrows. For the old order of things has come back. It is gone. Therefore, tonight, I hope you remember to take heart and to never forget where to find your hope.
Abby did amazing. I could basically say that the rest of the night. But one of the things that she did really well was rally the community, and people responded to that. And so that was one of the things that was most encouraging to me, I think, is how many people jumped on board. I mean, there were so many people there who she didn't know.
I think that might have been the most impressive part. I mean, it's one thing to like have all your friends come out and support you, and she always had a lot of support from stuff, but to rally an entire community that doesn't know you, and you're able to get that much publicity in 2.5 months. And then she said, what, she knew 15 people there out of 250? I think that was really spectacular.
As Abby's teammate, I was just struck by seeing her idea and then seeing the reality. And I was like a witness to how nervous she was on our team calls. And she's like, how am I gonna get this band? How's it all gonna work out? And it was a gift and a blessing to get to see her share her heart and to share the hope. And she did it with such passion, no shame, and it was so graceful. So that was a gift for me.
Hello, I'm currently at the Sioux Falls Homeschool Conference and I'm working the Unbound booth. It wasn't nearly as scary as I thought it was going to be. Public speaking is something that always freaks me out, but as I actually get up there and begin my speech, I realize they're just people and they're nothing to really be afraid of. And whatever I say, no matter how mumbled or jumbled the words come out, God can still use that message to impact His people. It was much more grander than anything I could have ever imagined. When I first started this project, it was literally just a masquerade ball. I didn't even know what that meant at the time. Just a dance in a room somewhere with fancy gowns. That's really how it started. But it evolved into something so much bigger than that, and it really began to become a community project and not just my own. Some of my personal favorite moments, right before I went up to speak, everyone was busy. My family was in their own world and taking care of things for me, so I didn't have to. But I was up there alone and I was nervous. But my great-grandma, who's 96 years old, saw me, made eye contact, and she told me to come over, and she just told me to have peace and that it's gonna be okay, and just to be myself and to speak the Lord's words. So there's that, and then also right after my speech, I gave my brother a big hug. I was so nervous and I was so glad it was over, and he had me turn around and everyone in the room gave a standing ovation. And it was such a touching moment and completely unexpected, but it was just really amazing. I would say don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to dream big, because even though it may seem big to you, it's not big to others, and God is even bigger than that. And so I would just encourage you all to trust and to really press into those feelings where you feel called to do something, because God will lead you through it.
So I need everybody on these